All right, guys, this is going to be another quick video. We're going to talk about a system that is somewhat simple, but I would argue is actually more complex than it seems. This is another fielding part of the Skeetersoft fielding system, which is playing the infield in. You would think that this would be sort of an obvious thing to have in your baseball game, but you would be wrong. If you go back in history and you look at the old national pastime game, you'll realize that there's no option to have the infield in with the runner on third base. Now, as you know from playing games like Diamond Mind and OOTP, and I believe Action PC Baseball as well, with most games that are more advanced, you can always bring the infield in, and with some of them, especially OOTP, you can do all sorts of like weird things with the infielders and have fun positioning guys and taking all sorts of stuff into consideration that we don't usually. But this isn't one of those games. This is pretty simple. The rule here is pretty simple, right? And we can read it right up here, which is that if there's a runner on third base and there's less than 2 outs, you can play the infield in. There's a checkbox that you have in the game to do that. In real life, you just have to know that the infield's in. Usually, I will forget to check the box. If you watch a bunch of my games, you'll see me forget. When I would play card and dice, it's a little bit easier because I would just wait until I look at the boards to remember, oh yeah, that's right, the infield's got to be in this case. If the box is unchecked, the infield is playing back. If you want the infield in, you must check the box, right? The checkbox will uncheck itself after every play, after every dice roll. That's something that I don't like very much. I wish that it would stay on for the entire at-bat, because people like me will be really forgetful and will be like, oh, I forgot that, I have to pull this on now that I saw that was a ball or whatever, and, what a whole bunch of other stuff happened, right? It's easy to forget, especially when you're trying to play fast. So the big question that you have now is, so what difference does it make, right? So remember, it's not going to come up so much in the hit and run, maybe a little bit. The way that this is denoted here on the boards, so we're on the hit and run play, might as well start here, is through C and D. So C means the infield's in, D means the infield is deep. Why not I? Because that's the way that J. Richard Seitz created it. So we have to go back to 1951 when the APBA baseball game came out. That game had the option to bring the infield in with third base occupied and less than 2 outs. That's just the way that Seitz wrote it on the boards. C was infield in, D is infield deep. Skeetersoft, if you play with the fan boards, assumes that, so you're rolling the dice, right? It assumes that you know that C means infield is in, D means the infield is deep. I don't even think that it's written anywhere because so many of us come from the APBA world. And you can see with the hit and run play, it's only going to influence the 24, 25, 26, and 28 rolls. And basically, the runner is going to be thrown out at home, except 28 is going to be out at first, but the runner will hold. And then with a 26 result, instead of being an out, it's a single through second. That's the risk that you take in bringing the infield in, which is that a base hit can get through. So we'll look here at, say, runner on third base, and you'll see the same sort of thing here. Sometimes, like with these air rolls, you're going to see stuff like the runner holds if the infield's in on this single, the runner scores if the infield's deep, right? Here at 26 again is a single with the infield in, and it's out at first, but the runner scores with the infield deep, whereas a 28 will mean the runner's out at home, and then with the infield deep again, it's a ground ball with the runner scoring. Interestingly enough, you get some really rare plays like this 41 where the runner will steal home if the infield is in and the catcher is injured. But if it's deep, then the runner's cut off of third. I don't think that there's that much rhyme or reason to it. I think this is more a case of like sort of having fun with it. Now that's fielding 1. When you go down, say, for example, to fielding 3, we'll see if there's any sort of like discernible difference. Actually, interestingly enough, it doesn't look like there is. It's the exact same thing. So there you have it. And you can look at, runners first and third, for example. You'll get a couple more options. And for the most part, having the infield in will cut off that run of the plate. At the roll 24, it actually turns into a double play. Interesting. Check out this 24 double play. Second to short, short to first. Runner scores if not third out. Defense may choose to play for the out at home, in which case it's the second to catcher, batter to first, runner to second. So kind of an odd type play. You can find all sorts of little stuff like this here. Now, the moral of the story, though, is that if you play this game and you have the infield in because there's a runner on a third with less than 2 outs, you are taking a risk. If you pull the infield in, there is a chance that the base hit will get through, and it might turn an ordinary out roll into a base hit, right? But there is a good chance, too, that you can cut off that runner at the plate. So there you go. That's really simple, and that's kind of the way you think about it. And there you have it for today. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.